Now, new research may have found the answer to dealing with fussy eaters. You have to get children to eat mindfully. They suggest asking youngsters to close their eyes, take a deep breath, put a green bean in their mouth and eat it slowly, and then explain how it tastes afterwards. Are you convinced, Jane? I'm just thinking of trying to sit my 2-year-old down and say, right, close your eyes. It's just not going to work.
Well, it's American research, 24, I think they're around about the age of 3, 24 toddlers. And they said it worked after, I think it was 5 weeks, mind you, that they started to like vegetables more. But I suppose a lot of people watching this will go, who's got the time to do that? I mean, maybe we have in lockdown, but in the normal run of the week, if you can get anything down them, you're lucky.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jane. I mean, do these people live in the real world? I mean, it's interesting in laboratory conditions, but, you know, most people are really, really busy, really, really stressed, you know, working shifts, people eating at different times, and kids are different. I mean, you know, I put my hand up at my eldest child, fantastic. I thought I'd done a great job because she would eat anything. Bonnie, oh my goodness, it is a battle of wills. I have tried everything. I've read everything, I've tried everything. And, you know, I think I'm now going to say she's 13, going on 14. Hopefully it will click in her own head at one point because, you know, nothing has worked, nothing.
It's hard, isn't it? I think, although that sounds really ridiculous, what they're suggesting there, if you're at the end of your tether, like what Kaye's describing, and you've tried everything and you've got a fussy eat and it's really difficult, I just think anything goes. Try it all, give it all a go. My children can't keep food in their mouth longer than a second. They inhale it almost, pick up the plate, and it's like, gone. So I wouldn't...
That's boys.
I just wouldn't be able to do those kind of exercises and mindfulness and stuff, but I would try anything. I actually call myself a lazy parent when it comes to food because if I've cooked and that's their dinner, there's no other option.
Yeah.
I'm not making anything else. If they don't eat it, they don't eat it.
But isn't that what it was like when you were a kid? It certainly was when I was.
Yeah, my dad didn't give us a choice. My mum and dad always just said, that's what's on the table. If you don't eat it, you don't get any afters, and I'm certainly not cooking you another meal. So I've just done the same with mine, and luckily for me, they haven't got any health conditions or reasons why they struggle with eating, and they aren't fussy. But I do think that sometimes, like what Kaye's describing, some kids just are fussy. It doesn't matter how you parent them, how you raise them, they're just who they are. So you do have to try loads of different techniques, I suppose.
What about Patricia?
Well, she's actually quite good, but then they go through little episodes where she started off brilliantly, then there was a little period where she had no interest at all, and now she's back on thinking it's great to eat all her peas and everything else, and she might watch something on the TV occasionally that sparks it. There could be little songs or different things, and suddenly she'll relate that to her food. Or if I make it look pretty, which you don't have time for again all of the time, but occasionally I'll make little faces with her peas or blueberries or something, and it kind of entices her in when I kind of feel like you've got to eat this. But you do have to sometimes just relax a little bit. Just some days she's just not going to fancy it.
But what
then
you were
other
saying
days she
before,
will.
that's that scary bit. I think there's a turning point when you have a baby and they're like 12 months old and they stop eating. They just refuse everything and start pushing it away. And I think then the panic sets in. So you give them like a banana or something really sweet, and then they almost turn to sugar all the time. So I think that's one of those pivotal moments that if only I'd know, if only you know at the beginning it's okay if they go without, they'll eat eventually. Don't just give them loads of sugar. But also, can I just say, I think that some baby food out there is an absolute scandal, and I think it sets parents up for a loss. They're being sold these like healthy pouches of pear, broccoli and pea, and actually there's no broccoli in it whatsoever. So they're getting their kids addicted to sugar straight away without even realising. So I think there's not a lot... I think a lot of stuff happens to parents without them even knowing. They're trying to make the right choices. They're trying to do the right thing for their children.
Being sold to them as healthy.
Exactly, and they're actually being sold a lie. So I don't think that helps at all.
It's often when you've cooked a dinner and then they don't eat it, and then I'm panicking that they haven't eten, so you end up doing that. Where you think, at least there's something in their little bellies, but it's not always the right choice at all, of course. Sort of sticking with the baby toddler-themed conversation. Helen Flanagan, she's a very glamorous soap star, obviously, but she's also a very relatable mum. And after being called a lazy parent for pausing potty training with her 2-year-old, Helen hit back at online trolls, saying her daughter Delilah just wasn't ready for it at 2. So is there a right age to potty train your child? Kaye, how did you manage it? It is a bit of a transitional period, isn't it? And you do have to be patient as the parent.
Well, I have to say, I really loved potty training. I mean, I know a lot of people find it stressful, but I mean, I thought it was great because I don't know, just maybe the age, the stage that my kids were at, there was lots of kind of American videos out about how you could encourage them to do a poo in their potty. And we actually got this potty. I wish I hadn't thrown it out, actually. I loved it. So if they did a PP, a number 1, it would give like a rainbow sort of, you know, tinkle. And then if they did a number 2, it would go, you've done a poo, you've done a poo, you've done a poo. And we had the stars and stripes.
Sounds traumatising.
I want one of those for me.
Oh,
Oh my God, the rare occasion I get to finish a poo these days. I would love to hear that sound.
Exactly, we should do adult versions of those. That'd be fantastic. It was wonderful. Best time of my parenting life.
See, again, can you shock me sometimes? And there you go, she loved potty training. Who knew? Who knew?
Fabulous.
Well, I am going through all of this at the minute.
To be fair, both my kids kind of did it themselves. And I know for some people, it is kind of traumatic. It's the luck of the draw. So I was able to enjoy my fancy potty. For other people whose kids don't go to it so quickly, it must be stressful.
It is stressful. As I say, I'm sort of starting it. She turned 2 in September. And just a bit like your singing, dancing kind of potty, she does it herself. So when she goes now, she'll come running in going, "Mummy, I did it!"
Oh, yay!
And we all go, "Yeah, that's fantastic."
Round
So
of
we
applause.
create a little bit of a sing-song just for her. And she's just absolutely delighted with herself. And I thought, if I can keep that going and she carries on doing what she's supposed to do, that's brilliant. Again, though, you think there's going to be little mistakes. She might fall out of love with it and not fancy it for a while. And again, you just have to roll with it, don't you?
Yeah, just don't put yourself under too much pressure. 'Cause I think actually it's at their detriment if you start them too early. Because that pressure, like what we were describing
Yeah, they have to make the
earlier,
connection, I think, between...
if they're not ready.
I mean, obviously, if your child's got special needs, there's a whole other issue there that, you know, it's much, much harder. But normally, I just think, yeah, they just make the connection one day where they just go, "Oh, yeah, I get it."
Yeah, it is one of those things that I think if you put too much pressure on yourself and then you think, "Oh God, they're 2, I better start potty training them," and actually they're not ready, it causes more damage. Because
And anyone who's trolling anybody about their 2-year-old,
yeah,
get a life.
God, it's awful.
Absolutely. There's another conversation for that really alone, isn't there?